taught by Brother Galactic Clyde, who is a very, very, very special man, and I know he's very special because I've now seen 2 lots of videos where orbs are following him. So I've now seen that in 2 videos. One of them I took, but the video I took, the orbs are very small, but I did send the footage to a film specialist just saying, what's this on the film and can you get rid of it? And then he sent it back to me saying, I can't tell what it is. All I can say is it's not light filtered in there. It's not dust. It's something else, but I can't tell you what it is. But I knew it was an orb. And then, of course, there is the drumming one where you actually see the full form come out of the ray of the sun, turn into an orb, and then dance to the drumming. Wow. It's amazing seeing an orb actually dancing.
Send that to me.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Galactic Clyde at the labyrinth.
Yeah.
At the labyrinth. Yes.
Yeah. So it was the confirmation of just kind of like how special this brother is, and his talent and his knowledge of spiritual systems is beyond the beyond. And so I'm really excited that we're going to get to hear about the Genesa Crystal and actually sacred geometry in general. So please let's give a warm welcome to Brother Galactic.
I'm thinking about today, tomorrow, and yesteryears. I'm thinking about our joys, our sorrows, and our tears. I'm thinking about what's hidden, what's hiding, and what's yet to be revealed. I'm thinking about the births of tyranny, mistrust, and heroicties. I am thinking about faith and faithfulness. I am thinking about hope and hopeless. I am thinking about this computerized generation and mass surveillance. I am thinking. I am thinking about the New World Order plans and how to strategize against it with universal love. I am thinking for those whose minds are hooked on legal and illegal drugs. I am thinking for those who cares nothing about life, liberty, and happiness. I am thinking for those who aim for the light and for those who dwell in darkness. I am the great thinker, thinking. If my mind is calm, I can calm the sea. If my mind is calm, I can stop any and all aggressions or diseases. My mind is linked with your mind. Your mind is linked with my mind, and what I think, you also think, and what you think, I also think. There is only one mind, and it's the universal mind. All minds are linked in the chain of life. You cannot outthink or outsmart me. You can only comprehend me like I comprehend you, or misunderstand me like I misunderstand you. We are individual minds, are the mind of God in combination, linking and thinking, in the world of human and the divine.
Thank you. What do you all think?
Is that your poem, Galactic? Is that your poem?
Yes. I write that in the other morning. Most morning I'm waking up with writing a poem or writing something, and then I post something, I say for the book. And then something I can't say because I have to share. So, sacred geometry. Geometry, they said, is the measure of the earth. And I would like a volunteer, so can I have one person as a volunteer? Just come on stage. No embarrassment, I promise. No embarrassment. Okay, thank you. Can you just hold that for me? Okay. Long time ago, ancient society, you always see they carrying a staff. You know, it's all symbolic. We speak a lot of symbolic language because the language, the secret of life is the secret of symbolism or hidden meaning. Why? Because there's a part of us that is not human. Yes? And it doesn't operate on the level of how we understand humanity or human society. And it speaks to us in symbol. There's a good book somebody lent me, Encyclopedia of Symbolism, if you want to be interested in symbolism. But that shows you how shapes and all of these are part of our life of learning and understanding. So, let's see. Good. If you can move a little bit forward. Yeah. What am I doing? I wonder. This is very feminine, I must say. And this is very important. I'm doing it because I want you all to be aware of it and never forget it. This is why I'm taking the practical approach. And this is the circle of life that we always talk about. So I'm putting a knot here because that's the ultimate of the circle that I'm actually going out, hopefully. Yes? And never forget this, yes? I'm using a seed here. They call it Hari or Haritaki. It's a very powerful herbal that a lot of people don't know about, but it's very good for the brain, oxygenate the body, very good for a lot of different ailments. I want you all to know about it. I should be eating it, not playing with it. But sometimes you have to be like a cat. But you know, in my country, they say, what cat cannot play with, dog want. You all heard that before? But always, you make the perfect circle when you come to the point, and you can link the point with the circumference. So that's what I'm doing. This is going to be one of the most powerful circles. In ancient time, when there's planting, it's always the sisters or the feminine energy. Oh, you already know to move. That's good. You don't want to be tied up in my net. That's very good. I could be funny sometimes. It helps my, I don't know what the word is. What they say, it helps the everything focus. Yes, so. That's the circle. I know everybody's looking for a PowerPoint, and this is the PowerPoint right here. This is the PowerPoint, so that's the point right here. So I marked it. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we got a perfect circle by using a pivot of the straight line and make a circle. Now it's just that easy to make a circle. Modern life has taken us out of the circle. Normally, when we have stories, when we have lectures in the ancient community, it's always in a circular form. I was talking just now about the little lady she was running around, and she's making a circle in her running around. I said, wait, she's interpreting the lecture here, and I didn't even start yet. But that's what the ancient people said. A lot of the rituals and things that they do, they learn from the little ones. You know? So, sacred geometry is the measure of the earth, or geometry is the measure of the earth. And we just measured the earth just now. And so we know where the point is and we know where the circumference is. You know what they say? The center and the circumference, yes? Very important. Yeah? Finding your center. Yes? Yesterday we celebrate Dougie's Earth Strong. Dougie, who was late, Douglas Williams. Everybody know Douglas Williams? Respect that. And so I decided I was going to open up today with another elder. Respect to Dougie, finding your voice. And I talk about finding your voice is not only your singing voice, but your creativity, your talents. Yes? Finding that hidden part of yourself, that geometric frequency that links you to the other world, that links you to the ancestry. That's why you're here, because we're here for a reason. We're still talking sacred geometry, but I got an hour and a half, so I could play around a little. Can I? Yes. Yeah? Okay, good. Okay. So, everything stems from the circle. Yes? Because the year is a circle, isn't it? Am I right?
Yes.
The year is a circle of how many days, yes?
Yes.
Let's say 365, but we beg to differ. Because 4 or 5 of those days are just the holidays from ancient time, yeah? So the full circle is 360, yes?
Yes.
And the other ones are just additional for festival and party and whatever, yeah? That's how it goes from ancient, if we study the ancient teaching, yeah? So the circle is always 360 degrees. Yeah? Okay? Right. And so, in life, we find the umbilical cord with our mother, yes? We are the center, yes? Remember, we come out from that center point of the body, yes? So that's also geometry. Geometry is everything. Geometry is life. Geometry is how we eat. But you only said the topic for today. Sacred geometry for everyday living. In one sense, it's a misnomer. We could laugh about it when we really understand, because every day we're living sacred geometry. Yes? Because the foods are made in certain geometric patterns. Yes? The air we breathe is a geometric pattern. What do we call that pattern? The air we breathe is a tetrahedron. And actually, I had a tetrahedron pyramid bringing here. But what happens, something gets mixed up in the matrix, and I actually didn't bring all the parts. So it's supposed to be, can you see? Can you see the formation? I left the pipes, so forget the pipes. And so, in terms of timing, there was a cord that goes here into this one that goes here into this one, the other one goes into this one, and then this is the pivot. Yes? So that shape is called the tetrahedron. Have you seen that shape before?
Yes.
Of lately? Have you seen that shape of lately? When I sit like this earlier, I'm making the form of the tetrahedron. Can you see that shape?
Yes.
Can you see the shape? Yes?
Yes.
That's sacred geometry. What's at the top of that? What's at the top of the tetrahedron?
Pyramid.
For my body.
The head.
You have the head and the crown chakra and the pineal gland. You see that? So when people say this is the pose of meditation, this is the tetrahedron. And some people say, well, Clyde, why you have the tetrahedron and not the pyramid for meditation? I said, I used to do the pyramid, but I figure the tetrahedron is more powerful in the sense, yeah, that when you have a triangular shape, there is no square base, there is no limitation. Yes? The energy keeps moving. And you're gone, bang, into the universe, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do. So when you sit in that pose, the tetrahedron, yes, it's the shape that is connected to fire. It's the geometric or atomic structure or shape of fire. When you see fire, fire is always doing this, burning up, yeah? The fire is the tetrahedron. So that's the power of fire. And you can see it in some food. If you look at something called the, I think they call it the drumstick in India, or what's the other name for it? Anybody know the drumstick? Moringa, yes? Good. Drumstick, yes? That shape is the tetrahedron. And not only that, the seed pod is the tetrahedron, the seed is the tetrahedron. Yes? And for those of you who study yoga and Tai Chi, that plant is very good. Because when you grind that, because I grind that thing to make drink, and the people just drink it, just drink the powder, the leaf powder. But I take the seed pod and I grind it to make drink out of the seed pod. So they're like, wow. And what happened? It's got so much fiber. So I know that, wow, with that fiber, it makes me, wow, flexible. That's how it goes. It's the idea. So if you want to be more flexible, you're going to get more fiber, yes, in the system, yes? And so the moringa is one of them. Coconut is one and another one as well, yes? You see how fiber it is, yes? It's all understanding nature. So the measure of the earth is not about taking a measuring tape and measure the earth, but it's about understanding intrinsic nature of how the earth is. The earth is our body as well. So our physical form is aligned with the earth, yes? While our spiritual form is aligned with the you know it already, so I don't need to say nothing. Yeah? Isn't that how it goes? So measuring the earth, you know, is about understanding yourself. Not just the physical earth, but your physical body. Because it's one in the same. It's our car cost when we're down here on this planet, yes? Yes? Yes, that's the car that takes us around while we're here on this planet. But you know what happens? We walk by day and we fly by night. Did you all know that? If you don't know that, you haven't found yourself flying, yeah? They always say, the trick is to catch yourself between sleep and wake. If you can catch yourself between sleep and wake, you will realize how much you've gone out that body. Boom! And the reason why I say that, because I want you all to remember that. Because it's a hard thing to do. It's like catching a rabbit on barefoot. Yeah? Just try to catch yourself before you fall asleep. Do that for the rest of your life and see what happens. Because you enter a state which they call geometry. You enter this. They call it the hypnagogic state. You're seeing all these images. Wow. Black, white, whatever. The hypnagogic state. And that's when you know you're ready to lift off. Because just like a plane, you're going to different planes, eh? So you gotta lift off. You gotta lift off. And the sacred geometry helps you to make that journey. So I can pass this around because I know you all were looking for PowerPoints, and these are my PowerPoints, yeah? I'm sorry about that, yeah, because I think these have more power to the points than the points to the power. Yeah, I'm getting rhyming now, so you know spirit is kicking in, and kicking in, I'm kicked out, yeah? You'll be trouble, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to pass this around because what happened, I was living in America, and I went to an event, and just at the close of the event, about maybe 10-15 minutes before the event, I passed by a stall and I saw this guy had all of these things. And I was like, what's this? I never seen it. And he's like, it's for your third eye. Ooh. And I said, let me look at it. He said, well, you got to watch it until you see the hidden image. And so I'm looking, I'm not seeing nothing except just the that come. No, that. Yeah? And that's all I'm seeing. And then, boom, my third eye. And then I saw the hidden image behind the come. But guess what? I said to the man, I want the most powerful one you got, which was this one. And I bought it. And then I realized there is no name on it, or there's no phone number, there's no contact detail. I'm like, wow. I tell the man, listen, I need one of each one he has. So I get this number and I order $250. I was in America, so it's dollars, they're not pounds, yeah? And I bought all of them, yes? I bought all that he had, one of each or two of each, some of them like that guy, and I still have them. But what happens, it resonates my third eye so I can see a hidden image. Behind those that come is some hidden image. And what the hidden image I see was Tehuti in the background. Some of you know it as the magic eye. Have you ever heard about the magic eye? Yes? Is anybody ever able to see the magic eye?
Yeah, I've been able to see that.
You ever able to see that? So if you practice, you'll be able to see that. Yeah? And what they said, this is all geometry, just jungle up in such a way that your third eye see like the bee. Yeah? That's how the bee sees. And they're the best herbalists on the planet. Did you hear that? They're the best herbalists on the planet because they're working from this. But in the tradition of the Vedic, they have an animal associated with each animal or birds or insect or whatever, associated with each chakras, from the root chakra all the way up. Yeah, I remember that the root chakra is like the, anybody knows? The root chakra is like the ants, yes? Yeah? Because root chakra people is just like work 9 to 5, 9 to 10, 9 to 9, yeah? That's the root chakra. Accumulation, just like the ants. Yeah? But then you got the third eye chakra now. It's like all this chaos in the world. How do you understand the rippling effect that's happening? Yeah? Your third eye has to be open. Or your third eye has to be active. Yeah? And that's where spirituality, sacred geometry, the hypnagogic state, that's what it's all about. Yeah? So if it's one thing that we should labor to do beyond just the root chakra, the ants, you know, just bread and butter and that stuff, is to understand the Hamza. Yeah? Understand the dimensions so that we can shift. And so when we make that flight into other realms, we come back with something. You know, the Jews had a saying, they said, when you go out to the other realm, don't lose your marbles. I'm not sure what that is. But I think they talk about the marbles in your brain. There's a marble somewhere. Are you losing your marbles there? You got it, yeah? Yeah? There's some things in the brain, you know, like some people would take a lot of alcohol or things to travel, yeah? But they'll come back with nothing because their state of mind is not, you know, the marbles are not working. Yeah? So that's what they mean. I need a couple of volunteers. Actually, I need 30 volunteers, but we have 30 people up there. Yeah? All I need you to do is just come down. Don't say nothing. Just take one of these. And put it right, yeah, just one at a time. Just take one and put it right over one of the seeds. And if there's no seed, just make sure you stay in the circle. Yeah? Just one. Don't move. Don't walk over this. Don't take the seeds. Just take one up and just put it over. Just put one, just one each. Yeah? Active, interactive, yeah? Just take one and put it over the seed. Any one of the seeds, yes. So the way one, the rest of the circle, yeah? Perfect. 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 Almost have 40 people. Just stand here. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just put right over the seed. Nice and center over the seed.
Yeah, that one's got moved. One of them got
With the
moved.
seed that was here.
Some of them got kicked. I don't know where this one comes from.
Here.
There's one there.
Clive, do you want us to stay there?
Yeah? Yeah, you can stand there. Just stand by yours. If there's enough. If there's enough. Okay. Good. So, up here, this is empty here. Can we take one from there because the space is tight there? Just bring one over here. The spaces. Yeah? Yes. Put over this a little and you want to move the seat, but you can get the circle right. Yeah. Let's see. Got it right here? Nice.
Let's see, where was the seed?
Yeah. Right, nice. Good, that's what they call it. Yeah, that's fine. Important, very, very good. This is ancient society. This is how we do it. Yes? This is how we do it. Very nice. Now, these pieces are actually, these are made for here to make the dodecahedron. So you're looking at the parts for the dodecahedron. Let's say the seeds of the dodecahedron, yes? Because each point, guess what? Can you count this and tell me how much points there is, please? Can you count? There's so much points on that thing. No, points.
Oh.
Points, yeah? Get the point.
We can't count it, Clyde. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, hold on. 1, 2, 3.
You know, there's a lady that wrote a book called Blackout to Whitewash. But she also wrote another book called Food Masquerading as Drugs. Anybody familiar with that book?
Drugs masquerading as
Anybody
food.
familiar with the author? Are you serious? Nobody knows Sousa? Nobody knows Sousa? Suzar? She says, you come to power when you come to the point. The power point. Did you find out?
No.
There? Okay.
Can't count
I'm
it.
gonna guess. Let me see. I think it's 30. Yeah. So how much face then? Let's say these are face. Can you just measure the face? Let me get somebody else.
Oh, good.
You
Yeah.
can measure the face for me. Yeah. 1. You want to try? Let's see. 1, 2. Count them. Tell me how much face is there. So we got 30 points, and we got how much face? Well, so let's see. So this is this. You put it like this. If you put it like this, you get it right, yeah? So this top one, and then you got 5 around there, yeah? So 5 on 1 is 6, yes? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, yeah? 12, yes? Yes? And the points are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you got 10, yeah? So 10 and 5,
15,
and 5,
20.
20, 12. Is that what it says? Numbers, geometry. Geometry and numbers is all linked. Numbers is geometry, geometry is numbers. Shape is geometry, geometry is shape. Shape up your life. That's what they used to tell me growing up. You know, we used to say this in the village. Shape up your life. I love shape. I'm trying to shape up my life. But sometimes I do too much, they say. You know? And I laugh because I think I don't do enough. Why I don't do enough? I think I don't do enough because, you know, the other day, I was talking. Thank you all for standing on the point. Because you never go wrong. Ooh, this one wants to talk. So let me tell you what he wants to say. Yeah? I have a friend by the name of Yogi Laser. Can you see his picture here? And he's actually making a geometric image here. Can you see the image on him? His foot is here, and his foot is there, and his buttocks is there, and he makes the shape, this shape, with his body. Body geometry. And I went to pick that up, and this drop is like, don't forget me, I'm here.
Turn to us, I didn't see the straight.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's you. Recognize your voice. How are you? You good?
You got Noel.
You got the shape.
Yeah.
He's making the shape, and I said, do you know this is the shape you're doing with your body? You know what power this shape is? Why is this shape so important? Do you know this shape anywhere? Anybody see this shape anywhere?
It's like a house.
There's a building somewhere with this shape. That building, the what?
Pentagon.
Ah, the Pentagon. Yes? And what is this called? Pentagon. Yes? So this is the Pentagon shape, yes? Pentagon, and it's connected with the North Star. Yeah? Geometry is all around us. So sacred geometry for everyday living is somewhat of a misnomer. Because it means that if we don't understand that, it means we don't understand what is happening on an everyday basis. Because the reason why the Pentagon utilize this because they understand the power. But me comprehend it too because when I go in the woods and I saw a plant called the elderflower, and I'm looking at the elderflower and I'm like, the elderflower is the shape of a pentagon. The flower itself shaped in the pentagon. So the elderflower got pentagon power. Not only that, a single flower for the 5-point star. So not only that the elderflower is the 5-point star, single flower, but the whole unity of flower on the plant is the pentagon. So that's shape power. And there's a book called Shape Power. Yes? It shows you how shape is power. Because of the shape, give it the power. So let's say just rotate a little. So move 1, 2, 3 steps. Just move 3 steps over and you just change the position. 3 steps over. That's it, 3, that's 4. Yeah? What you just did, you just shift the energy in the room. And you shift the energy in your body. Yeah? Can somebody just stand up and sit down for a minute? Yeah? You just shift the energy in your body and also in the room. Yes? Because this says, how we go? A square plus B square produce C square. Something like that. It may sound like nonsense, but a lot of this nonsense got the deeper meaning. Yes? So later on, I'm going to make this shape, which is this put together with some pipe to make the dodecahedron. One time, long time ago, you could not say the word dodecahedron. You know why? You would be killed. It was forbidden. Because it's secret knowledge. You dare not talk about the heaven and let other people know. Because some people hogging up the knowledge. That's what they were doing. Yeah? So it was forbidden to reveal certain secrets. So the dodecahedron vibrates to what energy? The energy of space, the energy of the heaven. It's called the... God, don't eat somebody though. Yes? Ether. Yeah? Powerful energy. So what they're saying in sacred geometry, all the energy of the planet is the ether. Downscale, you got fire, you got air, you got water and earth. They come out of the etheric energy. Anybody here from Nigeria? Anybody here from Nigeria?
Not directly.
Not directly, indirectly? Indirectly, do you know this indirectly or directly? Anybody knows this? Anybody knows this? No? This is a circle, it's a ball, yes? And I understand in Nigeria and certain parts of Africa, they would have it in their house. Sometimes under the bed, in the living room, or around the house. They would move it around the house, you know? If it comes to you, you can move it around, yeah? They move it around the house because it's known to protect the house from certain ailments. More so from spiritual attack, negative forces. How did they know all of these things? Somebody travel out there and get something, come back and say, this is how it goes. That's how all of these things happen. Because when you tap in, you tap out. And you come back with something. And so they know that this will stop chicken pox for children. And they would also feed this, if you're rearing chicken or if you're producing chickens, you feed them with this and they wouldn't get the chicken pox. Because you know chicken pox comes from chicken that children get, yes? And so they use that to protect the children from chicken pox, and they use that to protect the chickens from chicken pox. But not only chicken pox, it goes more than that. It goes where, you have the phone, sister, where you have my phone? It goes where they use it also to protect from negative spirit. You have my phone? Yes, please. Yes? And so I'm sharing these to show you that everything is all geometry and all things are integral. Yes? Our body geometry, yes? The 5-point star, which fits inside the pentagon. Yes? This is considered protection on the outer level. This is the star of Solomon. Yes, they call it the seal of Solomon, the 5-point star. Yes? Some people say it's the star of the devil. Yes? But we know from certain ancient tradition, especially from the Jewish tradition or Hebrew tradition, they call it the seal of Solomon. Then you got what is called the Star of David or the Seal of David, which is the 6-point star, which is the inner protection. So that's the star of man, because they add another piece down there somewhere and says that's 6 points. I'm not going to get into that now because you think I'm a little bit of a thing, yeah? So, this is nothing to talking about. So, the other day, I just want to share this and then we can all sit down because I'm sure you're getting a bit tired or whatever, or maybe a little bit, I don't know. Okay, let me just share this about the melon, yeah? What happened the other day, because I'm on various groups, and I learned about the melon from some a sister that I've worked with. And so, I do like Frederick Douglass. You know, Frederick Douglass talk about when he was growing up in slavery time and he couldn't read. What he do, he used to challenge the community to learn new words. So he used to tease them about such things and he gets new information and he upgrades his knowledge. So that's what I do. Sometimes I go to the market and I look at something I don't know about and I'll ask about the information and I learn new things. So I'm always upgrading like that. Yeah? Both on the physical and on the spiritual. So where's the mic? Let me just say what they... Is the mic there? Mic? Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So I just want to play this so you don't think I make this up, yeah? So I asked he's a Nigerian priest, and I asked him about the melon on thing, and he sent me a recording on the group that they're on, yeah?
The melon in this picture
Is this on?
is known as tagiri in Yoruba language. It's called tagiri. This
Can you hear?
melon known as tagiri is a spiritual tagiri. It's a spiritual ball. No matter how difficult or how bad the spirit may be, when they see this particular ball called tagiri, that spirit will run away. No matter how bad the sickness can be, if you put it in your house, or under your bed, or anywhere in the house, this particular ball is for protection. You can imagine during the COVID, one of them can be sold for like £10, just one. Because in my community in Nigeria, we believe in the power of this Christmas melon. We believe in the power. So that is all what I can say about it. Every member in our group, if you have 1 or 2 in your house, just put it under your bed or put it somewhere in your kitchen or anywhere in the sitting room. It's for protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. So this is an advertisement, but not for making money, because whatever I buy this from my sister, I sell it for the same price. I'm a smart business person, you know. I buy it for the same price and I sell it for the same price because I have a group which is called the Labyrinth Group, yes? And I'm sharing the information in the Labyrinth Group. So, anybody from the Labyrinth Group here? Yeah, good. Okay. Now, the labyrinth, which is a sacred geometrical shape, it's a circle. Actually, the one that we have, I should talk about because there's more than one types of labyrinth. Wow, I got the mic now. That's a little bit better. So we have, anybody wants to sit down, or you okay with standing, or sitting, or whatever? Okay, you're good where you are, yeah? Because it shows communion, it shows the circle, it shows spirit. In sacred geometry, and I'm digressing, yes? In sacred geometry, the circle represents spirit. So we got fire, earth, air, and water, ether, spirit. Yes? And that's what the circle is. So we form a spiritual bond when we make a circle. This is why our ancestors play in the circle. They do things in circles because it means that they're operating in spirit. So, I know in life we have a lot of foods and some of them are circled, but nowhere I ever seen a square fruit. Anybody have seen a square fruit? Don't lie now, tell me the truth. Have you seen a square fruit? Why not? There isn't any. Are you sure? Is there anybody have seen a square fruit? Fruit, yes, fruit. Yes, in the square form. No. Well, I'm going to tell you, the only square fruit you would see, this is a hypothetical, yeah? Something like that, yes? If you go to one of those plants or you go to the supermarket and you buy coconut water in a box, Or you buy orange juice in a box. You get a square box, but it's not original. Isn't it? It's only those, when we created what? We got the plant, we got the planet, and we got the plant. But man has created their own plant. They call it factory, or they call it plant. And they're planting some things that don't work for our body. It's not natural. They're taking from the natural and making something to make a profit, not a priest. Did you get that? So you see the geometry has changed. So the square represents the earth. Refrigerator is square. The house is square. When I went to Zimbabwe, a lot of the houses are round houses. In my country, they call it wawla. Yeah? They're round. And so I said, why do they build all them round? They said, it's protection. Yeah? Because they keep negative spirits away. Yes? But the square, harbor a lot of the energies. That's why when you have square houses, in your corners where they meet, you're supposed to put a triangular shape. I was taught by Lester Lovin, you put a triangle in the corner, maybe like a copper triangle or wood with a copper on it, and that helps to shift the energy in the house. Yeah? Because this physical form, that's what happened. We're locked into the physical form with the square, because that's what the square represents.
Is that why they say put crystals in every
Corner, yes.
Well, the crystal doesn't have a square shape.
Right.
All different forms.
Right, yes. As you're saying that, all crystals are geometrical shapes. The seed patterns of the crystals are geometrical shapes. So geometry is everywhere, but it's for us to realize and connect. Yes? So change your square house by just change something in the corners. Yes? Shift the energy. And what happens? You'll be more healthy. Because the physical form or the earth or the square is for breaking down things. You want to build up. So you see the child was running in a circle. And believe you me, she was just like, wow, what? And she didn't stop. She wasn't running in a straight line. Because her body is made up of those circular forms. The rising sun. Is this the rising sun? This is the rising sun. This is the morning sun, is your head. The midday sun and the setting sun. It's all there. Geometry is everywhere. We're all the sons. And when I say sons, we're talking daughters as well, yes? Don't leave the sisters or the goddesses out, yes? Yes? It's all geometry. Everywhere we go, we're dealing with sacred geometry. Yes? Because what makes it sacred is that the energy, because what it says, energy follows form. Yes? Energy follows form. Yes? And so right now we've created an energy vortex in this room by just being in a circle. I don't know if you're up there. Yeah? Yes? It's so important to make that circle. And so you know how to make a perfect circle. Yes? And if you don't have somebody like that sister to stand in the middle, get a nail and drive it in the middle there, yeah? And then you make your circle. If you're on the beach, you get a piece of wood, you push it down, and you make the circle. If you're in the park, you do the same thing. Yes? And you circle your energy because you're protected. This is why you see in certain movies and certain stories of witchcraft, when they call in certain forces, they got to be in the circle. Yes? To protect themselves. Yes? Now, a lot of the fruits are circular form. It's nature's refrigerator. The circle keeps the energy or keeps the fruit from breaking down too fast. Watermelon, big fat circle, isn't it? Stay on the shelf, you don't need to refrigerate. Yeah? And it's got a time cycle when it should be expired. Designed by nature. But the circle is preservative. So we're preserving this room by being in a circle. We're activating the energy by being in a circle. And that's the power of sacred geometry. That's what I want you all to know. So, last year, because I have some knowledge of astrology and I've been studying different things, I've been following the war from the beginning of the war, yes? And I'm not going to label you on the war. But I know from the beginning when this war, Ukraine, Russia started, I started to write about it, to say that this war is just starting, but the epicenter is way into the future when two planets, or said a planet, the planet Uranus, conjunct the star system Algol. Algol is a star that is known, they said they call it the demon head, or there's another name for Algol, I'm trying to remember, what is called it, the one with the locks, what's his name, Medusa, yes? There's a star system that the story Medusa is connected with, yes? And we know the last time a planet, Uranus, forms a conjunction with that star system, we had a major world war, yeah? In the 40s, yes? So there's geometry that is taking place in the heavens. Yes? And so from my astrological understanding, I started to say, how do I combat what is happening? How do I try to get information to the rest of the world? Because they used to tell me, I was telling my friend today, they used to say, Clyde, you can't save the world. You can't save the world. You know? So, anyway, I'm thinking, because I'm a thinking, yeah? So I'm saying what I need to do in order to combat some of the things that is happening. And it came to me, the Genesa Crystal. Why the Genesa Crystal and not the tetrahedron, or the icosahedron? This is a shape I made anyway. I made this, but because I don't want to boast, I never bring it out my house. So this is the first time this being on the road, yeah? And it haven't even been painted, so it's not even fully finished. But this is part of a staff. But because I don't have staff, I'm just a man by myself, I decide to leave this at home and not be into Pampers, yeah? You get the drift, yeah? But this is what is called an icosahedron. This is the energy that water crystallizes in the icosahedron. So that is the shape of water from a geometric standpoint. This is the shape of fire from a geometric standpoint. And the shape of earth is that square that we were talking about. You know, that square box that we put the drinks in? Or the squares that we know? That's the shape of the earth, yes? That's the geometric shape of the earth. Because when you square the earth, when you square the circle of the year, what you get? Anybody know when you square the circle of the year? Squaring the circle, what you get? When you square the circle of the earth of the year, the equinox and the solstice. So every time we come to a point, a 90 days of the sun is shift. The sun goes like that 90 days and it shift. The sun goes again 90 days and it shift. We call that the equinoxes and the solstice. So those shifting point, one point is called the summer solstice. Well, let me start from the first point. I should say it's over here somewhere. I think this is more east is somewhere here. Wow, I'm losing my direction now. Yeah. So east is spring, yes? Right here, this is east. Wow, spring, I'm springing. Yeah? You wake up every morning, you're right here. And when you look up, the sun is right there in the east. Yeah? And then midday is the summertime. The sun is right here around the heart, the chest, the breast area. That's where the sun is in your body and in the world, in the center. Because if I go bend over, the heart is right there. Yeah? Ancient, watch the geometry. They measure the earth. We're not measuring the earth like the ancient did. Yeah? And so they know that as above, so below. As within, so without. That's what they say. Because they study it. They measure it. Yes? And not according to ruler like we look, but understanding the energy. So how are we measuring ourselves? Knowing that we have the sunrise, the sun, midday sun, and the sunset somewhere. Yeah? We have all of these suns within us because we are geometry in form. Yes? So we got the summer solstice, which is linked with the midday. And then we got the fall, which we call the autumnal equinox. Yes? and then you have the winter solstice, yes? That's the square of the circle. So that's how you square the circle, yes? Yeah? And so, those are powerful points, because it shifts. Now, in your life, from an astrology standpoint, you have these squares happening. You have this shifting happening. But if you don't understand astrology, somebody else would have to tell you. Yes? And if somebody else don't tell you, circumstances will tell you. Yes? So sometimes, you could be making bicycle, and next thing you're flying cars. Yeah? You could be cooking, and next thing you're babysitting. Those are changes in your life. There's a square, but you don't know. You just know that the bull put you and you made a change. Now, this is a story we say home. Don't stand and let the bull put you. It's something that the old people say. So they say, don't just stand there and let the bull put you. That's what they would say. Yeah? That means you have to be aware of what's happening in your life. That's what it means. So that's a little advertisement to tell you I'm an astrologer. Yeah? Yeah? Not really, but that's how it goes. Understanding your life and the geometrical changes. So I look at the world, there's a big change in the world. It's not about Russia or Ukraine. It's about what's happening in the heaven and how it's played out down here. That's what it is. And so I think about the best thing to do is make lots of icosahedron. Sell them. Make some money. Not just about that. Because most of these icosahedron goes for 100 and something, and me like a fool, I'm selling them for 30, 40 and 50 pounds. I'm such a smart guy, because I'm not looking at the money, I'm looking at the power, empowering the people. Ain't that the good thing to do? That's communal, isn't it? And so I spend time making these and getting them to people, and sometimes I give them away. Don't tell nobody. Okay? Because what happens, what's so peculiar, what's so amazing, is there another one here? What's so amazing about these shapes and is that it's not only that this shape is fire, it's not only just touch it and pass it around, look at it however, look it upside down, downside up, and just pass it around. It's not only that this shape is the shape of fire, it is the shape of water. It's not only that it's the shape of water, it's the shape of the earth, the ether, and the fire. So we got the full sacred geometry combined in one sacred geometrical symbol called the Genesa Crystal. Wow, the Genesa. They're moving too slow. Don't wait for them. Yeah? So yeah. Oh yeah. Can't forget you all up there now. You're not punished because you sit down, yeah? Okay, pass it around. So I decided I'm going to make this. So I started last year. Not originally. I started when I learned about Susa when she came to London by an invitation that I learned about her and put a group together and invite her to London. And she came and teach us about the Genesa Crystal. The Genesa Crystal is a manifester. So if you want to achieve something, she said, you can write it and put it inside the Genesa Crystal. Or having the Genesa Crystal in your house helps you to manifest what you want to happen. Wow, that's a powerful symbol. Then I went online and I find that Eisenhower have something similar to the Genesa Crystal and he called Atoms for Peace. I was like, wow, that's a nice piece there. You know? So I thought I'm on the right track. Atomic structure for peace. And so this is what I'm pushing. It's about raising your vibration. I wish I could play third word. We need to raise our vibration so Jah love can rule the world. Very powerful. And this is what it's about. Because if you raise your vibration, you're above the issues. Yes? Because the ancient says, use laws above laws. The higher laws above the low one. Yes? That's what it is. Move higher, not lower. So some people love to say, bumpity bump, when something goes wrong. I said to people, I don't use the F word. Not like how people use it. You know what I mean? I use it for frequency. Did you like that one? Frequency! What's wrong with him? He needs frequency! I don't have to say the other word that everybody say. You know what I mean? I'm shifting the energy. I'm using higher vibration. Because you know what? I study some of them scholars and they don't talk like that. I don't hear Marcus Garvey blinky blinky blankety blanky. I don't hear Marcus Garvey talk like that. Malcolm X, I don't hear him talk like that. You know? Norbert Ali, I don't hear him talk like that. I don't even hear Bill Clinton talking like that. You understand? So we gotta use higher vibrational words to help us. And somebody say, well, that's a good word. The F word I'm talking about. The frequency word. Some people say, well, it's not the English language, and they find some way of justification for it. But what I noticed that most people who use that word is that they're going through some level of stress. And so they want to stress somebody else out. Misery love. Say it again. Misery love. Misery love. Right. So don't give misery company. Give misery frequencies. Yeah? Expand it. So you're going through something in life, find the higher way, not the low road. And so sometimes I look at my life and, you know, because at an early age, I never thought I would make it past 30. Don't ask me why, I just don't know. I never thought I'd make it past 30. Age 30 I'm talking about. Because life didn't seem so interesting for me. I don't know why. Because in my country, we used to play a game, run for bush, we used to play all kinds of hide and seek, we used to play, you know, we used to go on lots of stories, so I have some excitement. I used to go in the woods and somebody said this is a guava, but I used to pick guava for free. You know, the south that costs so much money over here, we go in the woods free. Actually, the birds were enjoying them more than us. And what they tell me, the people that own the land that we're getting it from, and we're not stealing, by the way, it was free. When I say free, it's F-R, is it double E, yeah? I think so. Believe you me. So I had a nice life, if I could say that, comparing, you know, to certain things where we have to pay for. I go up in the woods, south up there, one bird is eating and one day, and I was like, I'm taking this home. And I give it to my mother and she make a drink. And I'm happy. You understand? So I had a certain type of paradigm. Never slumber. Yes? 10 more minutes. You know, I laugh with that because, you know, there used to be, I tell this as a joke, there used to be a church where the preacher couldn't read properly. So he used to have somebody reading and he's interpreting. So the man says, and the Lord said. And the preacher, and the Lord said. And the man said, move your big finger. Move your big finger out the way. So she said 10 minutes, yeah? I'm telling you all, we have 10 minutes. Who's going to come down and to see the geometry? Who's going to come down in the circle? Can we all come down in the circle for the next 10 minutes, yeah? Come down in the circle. Let's feel the energy. Yes? Yes? Come down in the circle. Yes. Interacting. Yes? Shape up your life. Understand geometry. Understand your own geometry, the mysteries of your life. You make it work. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of ways I could formulate this talk, this lecture, but I think interactive is one of the best time or the best way to do this because we are geometry. Now, I didn't talk about this 8-point star and the timeline that it represents. I didn't talk about it. Yes? But I think we were talking on the other day with Akua on the radio, and we were talking about we're coming into a Venus transit. And Venus and the Sun meets every 125 days, something like that. Venus and the Sun come together. And it's called a Venus transit. And there's a higher transit to that, it's 120 days, 120 years, where you actually see Venus cross the face of the Sun. Anybody have seen that? You all I'm serious. Never seen this sign where Venus crossed the face of the sun. You look at the sun and you see a black dot passing the face of the sun. You all live in London, no? You just came. No telescope. Naked eye, you see a black dot crossing the face of the sun. They call it a Venus transit. Nobody has seen that.
When is that?
It's happening in 2007 or something like that. Yeah? Where they're actually seeing the planet Venus passing, a black dot passing the face of the sun. And it happens every 120 years. But there's a smaller cycle to that. Nobody knows here that. Do you see how much the measurement is off? Do you see how much your measurement is off? Go and Google, because Google is your friend. And you ask Google to show me Venus passing the face of the sun. This is your homework. And listen, as a test, I don't come easy, yeah? So that's your homework, yes? And everybody who get the answer right, I'm going to invite you to come to walk the labyrinth with me. Yeah? And those who get the answer wrong, I'm going to invite you all to come to
walk the labyrinth
as well to walk the labyrinth. Yes? So you know you have lots of work to do. The labyrinth is very, very powerful. It's a geometry form, which is the 11th circuit labyrinth. And it seems like I'm digressing because I should be on the Venus transit. But you're going to do the Googling, yeah? And you could ask me questions if you're not sure what they're saying, yeah?
What are we Googling?
Venus crossing the face of the sun. Yes? Every 120 years, yes? Venus transit is called.
Okay, we're researching about it.
Yes, and you're going to actually see it and it happening in your lifetime because nobody, well, the little one may not be born yet, but I think you all were still around. You may be in a different country when that happened, but it happened and it was all on national TV.
Can you tell us when the next one is?
120 years from 2007. Calculate that.
Okay, how much?
Yes? So, but in that big cycle is a smaller cycle. So I'm talking about the smaller cycle that happens every 120 days. Yes? And when that happens, it's a lot of magnetism, a lot of magic on the planet. Because Venus, that configuration with Venus and the Sun form a 5-point star every 8 years. Yes? So it takes 8 years to form a 5-point, and they're actually showing you if you go onto Google again, you'll see it where Venus inferior conjunction. This is what this one is called. Then they got a superior conjunction. Yes? So you Google Venus inferior conjunction and Venus superior conjunction. Because the inferior one is a butt kicker. Yeah? Because one time the inferior conjunction happened in London and they had the London riot. Big riot started in happening. And it escalated throughout the country. But because we wasn't studying astrology, they couldn't link it with the Venus transit. But I did. Yes? I'm not saying that there's going to be a riot, but I'm telling you that Venus transit does change careers and careers. Yes? And last night somebody sent me a message about Pfizer. Anybody see what happened to Pfizer the other day in America? Not that we care about Pfizer. Yeah?
Tornado, but I think it was...
Tornado, yes. So Venus is getting ready to retrograde. And when Venus gets retrograde, the news gets a bit out of thing. A lot of things happen, yeah? So there's some things, research you got to do. Venus inferior superior conjunction. Study that, yeah? And you watch what is happening on the planet, yeah? Because a lot of things are happening, but we don't understand the astrology or the geometry of what is happening. And so even though you was around when Venus passed the face of the sun and it was all over the news and you see it, you did not see it. Yes? And so it's about, let's move the blinders. So sacred geometry for everyday living is a living thing that we need to apply to our life. Understand the geometry. So when you go in the market, you watch the food, watch the color. Because if it's purple, it's good for your liver. If it's blue, it's good for your kidney. If it's white, if the food is white, it's good for your bones. If it's red,
white rice?
it's good for
White
your
sugar.
blood. That is geometry. Because sound, shape, and color is one and the same. They're all geometrics. Yes? And I want you all to get that. Yeah? So if there's something with your blood, go red. I don't mean get upset. Red food.
Hibiscus flowers.
Liver, purple. Kidney, blue. Why don't the doctors tell you these things?
They're not training, is it?
They're docking you. That's it. We can always rewind. Yeah? Wheel and come again, yes? So I don't want to take more time, but I hope you all enjoy that. Thank you. Oh no, they're not. There was 30 pounds. Yeah, I like how you're reversing the gears. You know, they're now 50 pounds. By the way, but if you're interested, because some of them, if you're interested, I have a stall out there. You can actually some of these not 100% finished because they need a little cleaning. As you can see, you know, I had to burn them. You know, because if I don't burn them, they're not gonna stay together. You know, some people got to get burned. You know, so these have to be burned to stay together. Yeah. So I burn them and I need to clean them a little bit. But if you want to buy it, I could give you something off. How about that? So you do the cleaning. Yeah. So. Yeah, so that would be good. But if you're interested in getting a shape from me, and I could make them smaller and I could make them bigger, but this is the size I choose to make. But one thing I didn't tell you, that actually this size, having a Genesa Crystal, which is 400, it actually resonates at least 1.5 miles. 1.5 miles. Yes? Yeah, because what happens, I draw the line, I line it up. You know when I say line it up, and what you see there is a Merkaba. You heard about the Merkaba? 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 Nobody heard about the Merkaba? You heard about the Merkaba? Who don't hear about the Merkaba? Okay, so you need to do Google, yeah? So the Merkaba is actually the shape of your spiritual body. When your Merkaba is activated, you can interdimensional travel. Yes? So when you look at, you see the Rastas, then wear the star of David, yeah? That's a two-dimensional Merkaba, yeah? So the Merkaba is 3-dimension, yes? And that's the time travel aspect, yes? So you see the Merkaba inside there, yeah? And if you notice, this is 6 points and 8, 6 and 8, which is the Venus as well. Question? Corners. It's actually all the corners because the house is square and you want to change the energy. You want to move the energy because the square means that it's blocked, it's stagnant. Yeah, you want to put crystal, I would put crystal every corner. But it's all, somebody going to ask me what type of crystal you can use, yes? You can put a triangle or you can put a crystal. Because what you do, you want to shift the energy from just, that's why the spider's right there in the corners. That's where the energy is. Yeah? You want to shift it. You want the flow. You want the flow. Yeah? And that's why you move the energy. So you change the room around. Yeah? By killing the flow. Now, sorry? No, I did say triangle. I did say crystal as well. But yeah, you could do both. Yeah, we were talking about both, yes. So yes, you can do triangle in the corner and you can have a crystal stick onto the triangle. So what I was saying that Lester Loving, I'm coming to you. Don't worry, I'll be there. But he makes like a one-dimensional triangle, put it in the corner because it fits in the corner. You'll be surprised to see it fits exactly in the corner. You could stick a crystal in it, or you could put a geometrical form in there, which reminds me of this form here. Continue. What's your question? You could put plants in the corner, in the house, anywhere. What's the question to that? To move the energy? Yes, you can put plants to the energy, and certain plants as well. Look at the geometry and that. Can you see the energy? Can you see the energy lifting off the thing? Yeah? Your third eye is active. Yeah? The G wasn't for galactic, but I was lucky enough to get it. Just look in there. Just come here and just look like that. And you see, why is it the circle looks like it's getting bigger? Can you just do that? And you see? Yeah? When you go like that, you see it's moving, yeah? What's moving? No, it's not your head. It's your third eye, yeah? Yeah? Just, yeah? Can you see it? It's best if you stand and do that, you see it. Yeah? Question? Any more question? Sister, did I answer your question? Okay, good. Yes. Eh? Yes, you remember I said how the color on food crystal works the same way. The colors of the crystal also works with the different body parts in connection. So you know purple is the liver, purple is the kidney, purple is the liver, blue is the kidney. Yes? White is the bone, red is the blood. So crystals works the same way. Green, I wonder, anybody want to guess what green is? You got it. Heart, yes. And so which animal works? Hello. What?
Red is lava.
Red is lava. Okay. Lava. Yes. So the animal that's associated with the heart chakra is the deer. Yes, my dear. You like that? Yes. Any more question or statement? This is a very important trick question on the board here. When we dream, is our soul traveling or our spirit traveling? Now, this is a trick question because now it brings to mind what is the soul and what is the spirit. So let's just break it down geometrically. The sun is called the world soul. Yes? So if the sun is a replica of the soul that you have in your body, then what is the spirit of the sun? Tell me. What's the spirit of the sun? What's the spirit of the sun? So the sun up there and you feel the sun. What are you feeling? Is the sun you're feeling or the spirit of the sun? And what's the heat? That's the spirit. That's what the difference is. It's the energy of. So when we talk about the spirit, we're talking about the energy of. So my spirit is my energy. I send you my energy, I'm sending you my spirit, but my soul is still intact. So the world soul is the sun. So how you look at as above, so below. So if that's the world soul and we see the soul rising every morning and going to sleep in the night, those of you who might be scientific say the sun may no move and the sun is always at one place. I understand that. I believe that too, yeah? But we see it move, yeah? Because the earth is moving, yes? But what I'm saying, the spirit is the energy. So the spirit of. Yeah? So that's the difference, yes? So, yes? So that's what it is. So when you dream, yeah, your soul body or your soul can travel to what they call silver. What they call it, silver? 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 Nobody read the Bible. Nobody read these things. Silver cord. You ever heard the silver cord? You are joined to your soul by a silver cord. So when you're going out in the night, boom, there is a cord like the one I have on the floor there, a bit golden, yeah, that joins you, but it's silver actually. It talks about it in the biblical language. So that silver cord is stretched, and you could go anywhere, yeah? So imagine our silver cord, they interlink with each other, and we're going out, yeah? We're going out, but we're still linked to the body through the silver cord, yes? That's what it is, yes? Yeah, that's how we're linked. But it's not like somebody can just cut it like that. It's not of this dimension, so them just can't cut it. Yeah? They can't cut that cord. Yes? So we travel, go back and forth. Yes? But sometimes, most time we don't remember. The whole thing is to be, what we say, to be wide awake in your dream. So it's a practice. Or you want to do some ayahuasca or some mushroom to help you. Yeah? Something like that. Yes? These are things that help you to retain the memory. Yes? Sacred geometry, all of these things help you to retain the memory. Question? Any more questions?
What do the other animals related to the chakras?
Yes. Yeah, there's a book on all of that. I don't remember all of them. I could get that to you, but I don't remember everything from memory. Memory is not serving me now. I'm getting old, yeah? But yeah, there is the documents about all of them. And different tradition, we have different animals associated. But it's the nature of the chakra that tells you. So we will say the bird is what? Just think about it. Which chakra would be the bird? The bird sings, doesn't it? So which chakra would that be? Yeah? So it's like that. Understanding the nature of the chakra, then you understand the nature of the animal, then you could link the two of them, yeah? But the same thing with the food. So the green foods are the heart chakra, yeah? The red foods are the root chakra. It's just like that. And so by understanding the mechanics, you could paint a whole picture of life itself. Yes? And that's why I gave you those things about color and geometry and sound and all of that. Yes? Okay? So I just tried to answer your question in the best way. Yeah? So the icosahedron, and the icosahedron is a name that was given to this form, were created by a doctor named Dr. Logam. Yeah? He was in South America doing some agricultural, I would say research or agricultural, sharing knowledge and agriculture. And he realized that at the seed level of everything is that pattern. Is the pattern that sets everything in motion for life. This is why you can put your writing in there and make things manifest, because everything is the manifestation of everything forms the geometric pattern, which is the icosahedron. So he called Genesa Crystal. He called it Genesa Crystal, gene of South America, because he was in South America. But this shape comes from another shape, which is ancient, called the cube octahedron. My memory is coming back. Cube octahedron, yes? Yeah? So the cube octahedron is the square form, and you've seen it. But when you start Google and you say, oh, I've seen that shape. You know what? I got my paper mesh on the table, and it's a cube octahedron. I didn't know it was a cube octahedron. You start realizing that you have these things around, but you don't realize the geometry of it. Yeah? So you...
Like the shape of neurons and protons and stuff. Is it the same shape?
No, you know when you see a box, yeah? You ever seen a box standing on its point? Yeah, that's the shape with the cube octahedron. So you take off all the points of a square and you form the cube octahedron. So if you just take the points off the square, you know, sometimes we have to take some points off our life, you know, because we're too square. We're too locked into this world. So we need to kind of shift the energy. And that's what the cube octahedron. So you bring the higher energy down and the lower energy up. And that's what the cube octahedron, that's the philosophy of the cube octahedron. So if you take a square and you just trim the edge up and you trim the top down, you got a cube octahedron. It may sound a bit, you know, thing, but when you start looking at geometry the way I'm saying it, you say, oh, that's what he's talking about. Yeah? So I'm just giving you the code. Yeah? I think we come to the end of our line or the end of the circle, but the circle never ends, so I think it's the end of the talk. One more question, the burning one. Where is it? Me again. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes. I have an astrological class coming up called Knowledge of Self. And actually, I thought I have the paper here, but it's on the table out there. Knowledge of self. It's about knowing yourself, where I take you through the class of astrology, cardiology, and what is known as the Zolkin, or Mayan astrology. And so you're learning all of these different energies or astrological connection through the astrology class. I'm just thinking because my mind, I didn't talk about somebody else that I need to talk about, whose birthday falls today, because I digressed to Dougie and I didn't come back. So my mind is coming back to the information, or maybe he's saying, wait, could you forget me? This is an elder who passed away. I think some of you know him. And today is a special day for him. It's not Dougie. That was yesterday. I'm talking about today. So Dougie is the 8 of clubs. Today, card is the 7 of clubs. But if you don't do cardology, it doesn't have any meaning for you. But maybe when you get into that, you realize. So this man is born on the 7 of clubs. He passed. And he's an elder that I looked up to, and I wished I did actually get to sit at his feet. But I managed to sit at the feet of his books. And I learned a lot from him, as well as his video feeds as well I sit at. His name is Creator. Yes. Baba Creator Mutwa. Very powerful elder. Born in Southern Africa. Very knowledgeable. So today is the anniversary of his birthday. Yeah? Or Earth Strong, as we say. Yeah? So we say, Twa, we say, thank you, Creator Mutwa, for guidance and knowledge. There's something that I've just lately learned about, that I've experienced. I know I'm stealing a little time here. Okay? And I want you all to know this. It's called Utwaza. Utwaza or Ukutwaza. It's something that is happening to us at a certain stage in our life that we feel like we lose it. But in losing it on this plane is actually we're gaining on the spiritual plane. And it's called in South Africa, Ukutwaza. You know, that's where you say you're bugging out. You're like you're going off your head. But it's like you're being called spiritually to know who you are. So I recommend you all study that. Another Google experiment for you all, yes? Okay? So, but I wouldn't steal any more time. I thank you. And let's not forget, is Akua there? Akua? Can I share just a little bit of what you told me yesterday? Can I just talk about that? Yeah. Yesterday I got a text from Akua about something that happens in the family. How we interpret these things in the physical realm is different from how it's happening spiritually. Because when an ancestor is called to the other realm, it's explained that it's like a king or a queen is called to take up royalty back in the other realm. Yes? So Akua explained to me that her mom has transitioned. So that means if you change position on the stage, just move one stage over, just move one over, just move one. Yep. Yeah, just move one. That's what happens on the physical and the spiritual realm when they transition. Because somebody on the physical realm will take up the role of eldership on this physical realm on behalf of the family. And her mom in transition take up a certain role on the spiritual realm. So we give thanks for your mom bringing you to the stage. Because if you didn't bring you to the stage, I wouldn't be on this stage, isn't it? Yes? And so I'm happy to be on this stage. And I thank you for opening the way, because that's what you have done in bringing African spiritual practice to us. And so we give thanks for her mom, and we give thanks for her. And may she journey to the ancestors in flying colors. Thank you, Akua. Okay. We can talk after, yes?